right, so should we get this thing started?
Let's do it.
Well, howdy. My name's Carlos. Some of you might be familiar with me. And this is my self-introduction to my first podcast episode. Haven't quite come up with a name yet, but by the time this comes out, we should have one. Joining me today, one of my good buddies, known him for, 10 years now?
Yep.
Mr. Trevor Summers.
Howdy.
We are coming to you live from a undisclosed location in South Central Texas. So for tax purposes and stuff, we're not disclosing that. We may or may not own this property, actually.
There may or may not be cows in this shot at some point. We'll see.
Oh,
no one really knows.
Well, Trevor, good to see you. It's been a minute.
It has been.
I don't think your wife was pregnant with the second one the last time I saw you.
If she was, it would have been early. But it has been a minute. You've been doing a lot of big stuff, man.
Hell yeah.
I can tell you right now, it's been awesome to watch from an outsider, of just knowing that you're just like a funny dude, like you're just my funny friend, to actually seeing you on Kill Tony and doing sets like that. It's kind of surreal, I guess is the best way to put it, but it's been cool to watch. You've been killing it.
I appreciate that, man. It's unreal for me, like unexpected, no plans of any of this happening. It just kind of like my life has been in general. Everything just kind of found me,
Yeah.
Like the way I started truck driving, stuff like that. Like it all found me.
But
I never
used to change jobs like you change underwear, like
weekly. At
least once weekly.
But yeah, I never really sought too much out. It was just like fall in my lap. Most stuff would just kind of fall in my lap. Don't get me wrong, I was prepared for shit or whatever, but yeah, I never really had a plan like most other people probably do and should. I'm not recommending my path by any means. But anyways, yeah, it's been crazy. And I figured, people, from the sounds of it, people want to get to know me more, and I should probably start getting myself out there a little bit. And that's why I decided, like, hey, let's start a podcast.
Well, for sure. As soon as I saw your first Kill Tony, and the only way that it was really advertised to me was really through you on social media. It was just kind of like, hey, I did a Kill Tony, check it out. And I was like, yeah, I'll check it out. This is my buddy. He's funny. Let's see how it goes. Because it could have been horrible. And I would have felt bad for you because it's cringy to see that. But at the same time, I was like, he's pretty funny. He'll do okay. And then seeing it, I was like, oh my God, he crushed it. Absolutely crushed it.
There's so many people that I've told or whatever shared it with. I didn't really blast it to anybody like, hey, check this out. It's more, or it's been pretty casual on my part. Like, hey, like I said, I posted it on Facebook, I think, and was like, hey, I was on this show. If anybody cares to see it, cool.
Yeah, it was a super casual, like, hey, I stopped by and did this if y'all want to see it.
And
then it had 2 million watches.
People have been like, you knew what you're getting into, right? You watched the show? I'm like, yeah. And they're like, dude, you got some fucking balls.
Yeah.
Because
they
haven't exactly been nice to every single guest on there.
No.
Like, not necessarily you're expecting to get roasted or whatever, but like it's a possibility. It could fucking blow up on you.
And there's some people, dude, that like I feel bad for. I feel bad for their families that they got so murdered.
Dude, inside baseball right now, there's a I was actually at your birthday party a couple years back. This your Dirty 30.
Yeah.
Man, how long ago was that?
5 years ago.
So I was at your Dirty 30 at the ranch.
Yep.
And our buddy Mac was like, hey, you still have a nilgai hunt. Forgot about it.
That's a solid thing to have banked.
Forgot I even had that. Cool. And I was like, what are you doing this week? I said, because it's hard to catch me.
Yeah.
With my job, my line of work. So Mac was like, I'm free this week. What are you doing? I was like, I'm going to be home. Let's do it. He said, Tuesday? I'm like, Tuesday's good. And so I showed up Tuesday morning, like at 4 a.m. in the middle of nowhere. It's foggy.
That's how you know there's going to be a nilgai.
It's a good day to be a duck. It's foggy, raining, cold. It's like the beginning of February, I think. And I took my uncle with me, actually. He was all excited. Because this was on the King. That's for the King Ranch.
It was at King?
Yeah. It was
what
on
division were you
San
at?
Chicago.
Okay. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
The old stomping ground.
Yeah, yeah.
I like it.
Oh, you were out there?
Yeah,
No
I was.
shit.
Yeah, I was there before Mac started. Before Mac started as the manager, I was there. I finished my internship there.
So, anyways, I'm at the front gate of the San Chicago on the King Ranch, and he pulls up to the gate and he's like, hey, I don't know if you want to try it today. It's like, it's nasty.
Yeah.
He's like, it's gonna be nasty all day. It's like, dude, we're already here. What else are we doing?
You even emulated Mac well. Like, nah, it's good, dude. It's nasty.
And I was like, dude, fuck it, we're already here. Like, what's the worst could happen?
Yeah. You at least get a 10 o'clock tamale break.
Yeah, right. And I kind of feel bad too, because we go and there's like, they have like a chef there doing breakfast and stuff, because there was like quail guys, I think, in there.
Yeah.
Is that quail season? February?
Yeah. It ends at the end of February, I think, or the last weekend or so.
So there's a quail group in there, so like a chef doing breakfast for everybody, and like, you know, they got all this shit going on. And so it's getting close to shooting light, so we get the rig packed up and everything, and Mac drives us outside the firing line, sets the gun up. All right, he just kind of gives me a rundown. Like,
did you see him put the tamales in? Like, you knew the
no,
deal? So you didn't see the setup?
Did not see the setup.
Okay.
That's all fucking smoking
hey,
mirrors.
You got to keep it on the down low.
Hell yeah.
Don't give all your secrets away.
So we get outside the firing line, he pulls the gun out, and he's like, all right, and this is a ball rifle. Like, I've always ridden fucking borrowed horses, and I've always shot borrowed rifles. I've never owned shit in my life, until now. So anyways, he gives me the lowdown. Here's the deal. It's what you want. Cool. So I'm on the back of the rack.
Yep.
And
is that not the coolest way to take in the range,
dude,
though? That is legitimately the funnest place to be. Especially, did you guys chase them or did you stalk them?
We chased, or we went around looking for something to chase. So I'll put it that way.
Okay.
I saw like the ass of one, and I'm like, I'm not getting a shot on that. I'm not gonna try.
Yeah.
So I waved it off. I was like, nah, I'm good. Like, I can't see it.
Yeah.
And it was so anyways, we're cruising around. Sun's barely coming up. It's nasty. And I asked my uncle, Mac knows what he's fucking doing. This guy,
dude, he's good.
Because I'm like, dude, the scope's getting foggy.
Yeah.
How do I? And I look down. There's a fucking like a reusable grocery bag.
Yep.
And it has everything you need in there.
Yep.
And it's like within reach from the back window.
Yep.
So from the hunting rack on the outside of the truck, you can reach in, and those cloths are right there. I'm like, this guy. So I asked my uncle, I'm like, hey, can you hand me a cloth, clean the scope? So he hands it to me. I clean the scope up, and like, but I go to look through it, just check it out.
Yeah.
And I feel the truck stop. I look up, and there's this fucking like young bull. Perfect. And it's like running away from me to the right, at an angle to the right. It's at like 180 yards.
Yeah.
Get my first shot off. I don't even think about it. I just shoot.
What caliber?
308.
Okay.
Get my first shot off. Rolled it.
What?
Yeah.
No. Where'd you hit it? In the neck?
In the shoulder.
Really?
Like behind the shoulder.
Wow.
And I must have got like the perfect angle because it just fucking dropped.
I have seen nilgai take 300 Win Mag, like 6 of them, and not go down.
That's what I've heard. That's why guides say like they hate doing those nilgai hunts, because like you got to fetch shit out of the brush.
Well, and the chase hunts are tough because you basically pump them full of adrenaline. They are a tough animal to begin with, and then you start poking little tiny holes in them until they fall down permanently. And that's that. I mean, even a big bullet is a little hole in that size animal.
Yeah. So I dropped him, rolled him, first shot. Mac drives probably 20, 30 yards, and it picks its head up, and he's like, another one. Boom. Hit it again. And I was cheating out. I got the pictures. The first shot was like 2 inches from the second one.
Really?
Yeah. So then he drives closer, and it's still on the ground. Hadn't picked its head up yet, or again. And he's like, for my mental fucking sake, can you throw another one in? I'm like, yeah, no problem. I think I hit that one in the neck.
Yeah. The neck is the Achilles tendon. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
I have seen them take mid-body shots, 300 Win Mag, 338 Lapua, big rounds to the chest and keep going. You hit him in the neck, and dude, cheap tent, done.
Well, I got a cheap shot on it because he was fucking dead on the ground. So, that one was on the house, So we get there, he field dresses it, right? All the guts are out of it, and he calls the guy in.
Meat wagon.
Yeah. Calls the guy on the radio.
Carlos?
Yeah, his name's Carlos, right?
Location?
Yeah. So he calls in old Carlos, and he fucking stops his like GPS or whatever he's using, and it's been like 23 minutes.
Oh my lands!
From whenever we started rolling.
Oh my!
So
So you just drank the rest of the day?
So no, the fucking meat wagon hauls the nilgai off, and he's like, "Well, I had a whole day planned. What do you want to do now?" I'm like, "I don't care. You want to shoot some pigs?" I'm like, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, we're here.
Yeah. So,
they are a problem.
So we're
Why
cruising
not?
around, like, there's no pigs, there's nothing, there's no sign of life anywhere. I shot it all.
Yeah.
All one of them.
You killed all one.
I
nilgai
killed
on
everything,
that
yeah.
ranch.
It's
only 29,000 acres. You killed all one nilgai they had.
I killed everything, including our good time. So that's when he stops and I get the fucking tamale break in.
Where did they come from? Please tell me.
So we stop and I'm like, what are we doing? And I didn't ask because I'm like, well, this guy knows what the fuck is, like, Mac's real deal. He knows what he's doing.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't ask any questions, right? But I'm like, well, in my head, I'm like, what are we doing? Because we're in the middle of nowhere. I'm like, all right, dude, is Mac a fucking serial killer I didn't know about? All this is, I would have gave you my nilgai, dude. I would have gave it to me. If you would have asked, I would have gave it to you. So opens the hood. I'm like, oh, great. We're in the middle of nowhere. It's sandy as fuck. We got this heavy ass hunting rig.
Problems.
Yeah. And then he like climbs it in, like on the brush guard, climbs in the engine bay, and he pulls out like some aluminum foil. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And then I took my phone out. It was perfect time. I took my phone out because I'm like, oh, I know what this is.
Yep.
And he like unrolls it and it's like nilgai tamales. I'm like,
oh,
yeah. Fuck.
Yeah.
This dude does know what he's doing.
So we had that so down to a science. So those, we had them made hundreds at a time, and they were prepackaged in a dozen. We would freeze them in a deep freeze, and every single morning, we were up at 4 a.m. every morning. Guests normally come out at 5:15, but at 4 a.m. you go grab your dozen, you go to the microwave. They're not pre-wrapped in foil. They come in paper. So you go to the microwave, put them in for exactly 4 minutes and 25 seconds, take them out, wrap them in foil, and then you instantly go put them under all the new trucks now have that big plastic piece.
Yeah.
You lift the plastic and set them right on top of the engine.
And
by 10 o'clock, they are perfect every single time.
This wasn't quite 10 o'clock. I guess he knew what he was getting into. But yeah, it came out steaming fresh. I mean,
oh, yeah.
And me and my uncle were both like, oh, dude, we needed that. I didn't know.
The bag that had your lens wipe in it was the Cholula in there.
Oh, yeah. I'm telling you, he had the whole set. He was like a wizard.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, this dude knew what he was doing for sure. And
so I've got a question for you because I'm curious. So this is we're kind of backtracking a little bit, but watching you go up to kill Tony, okay? As I saw you walking through the crowd, like my butthole was puckered for you. Because I've seen people who crash.
I think I still got the bite mark on my jeans, dude.
But so, are in your mind at all? Are you thinking like I could absolutely get murdered up here and I'm okay with it, or is it like were you confident like I know I'm going to go shred these dudes?
There was no thought process going on at all. I mean, I didn't have time to think about anything. I had wrote some jokes.
On that walk, you weren't walking down there like, oh, dear God. Oh, dear God.
It was like, I don't know.
Because it took you 12 minutes to get to the
I'm a little
stage.
girl when it comes to needles. I hate needles.
Okay.
So when I'm getting a shot, people fuck up and they go like, no, wait, hold on. Me, I'm like, get it over with.
Yeah,
like,
go.
shove it in there,
Yeah.
dog.
Yeah. Rip the Band-Aid off.
Yeah.
Wait, did you say shove it in there, Doc? Are we just going to blow past that like it didn't happen?
I said jab me. And so I was like, we're going to hit this head on. This is going to sound corny as fuck, but I went kayaking. I went whitewater rafting. I mean, not kayaking. When I was a kid, I was like 14 on a summer camp through the Army. And I learned whenever like an obstacle, like a wave or something, you're going to come up on an obstacle.
Yeah.
If you can't avoid it, your best bet is just tee it up and
Yep.
fucking hit it head on.
Yep.
And that's kind of how I handled that, or most of my situations in life. Like, hey, if it's a tough situation, I don't want to cower. And kind of like football too. Like, if you cower, you're gonna get the fucking shit knocked out of you.
Trucked.
But if you hit the other guy just as hard, like you're gonna come better out on the other side. So, yeah, I didn't think about it. I was like, let's just get through this.
Okay, you get up there and you tell your jokes, and they were good. They were good jokes, but I think everybody agrees that your banter at the end was the best part.
That's what I've been giving all the compliments on, and they're like, "Where'd you come up with that shit?" I'm like, out my ass. Like,
so these are people that don't know you asking where you came, because anybody who knows you knows that
smart ass.
Well, and you got to be ready because Carlos is flying no matter where he's at. Like it's coming.
A verbal rattlesnake, dude. Nobody's safe.
Dude, it was so cool. But I just kept thinking to myself, like, dude, I'll never do this. I would never, ever do this.
So many people that I think are funnier than me say the same shit. They're like, I would never do that. And I don't know.
You know what? I don't know if you're gonna be able to edit my spits out. It's probably gonna be like.
It adds to the culture, I guess. I mean, I think I got it so easy.
I didn't even think about it.
I think I got it so easy with my character, like the way it is, because people aren't expecting like some fancy pants, politically correct, fucking.
Oh, they ain't gonna get politically correct.
Yeah, and I don't go out of my way to be politically incorrect or incorrect, whatever the fuck you want. I don't
But
go out of my way, but
you like to toe the line a little bit. Maybe?
I like to just be myself. Wherever that lays is where it lays, you know. And I'm just me. I'm not too worried about it.
It's not. None of it's pre-planned. Like I'm gonna toe this line. It's just kind of like, I'm just who I am. I take it or leave it.
I dated this very liberal woman a while back, and she kind of mentioned like, "Hey, you're not worried about offending anybody?"
Where's she from? Enough said.
Maybe like, I don't know.
I know you travel all over. That's why I'm asking. Like, did you find her in California?
I found her in New Orleans.
Okay. Well, New Orleans they can be a little more liberal.
Oh, they're extremely liberal. I mean, extremely liberal. Yeah. And I don't even know how I fit in so good there. Like, well, they're just kind people there. To be honest, like, New Orleans is like my second home. I've lived there twice so far. But anyways, I was telling her, like, no, I'm not worried about offending people because nothing ever comes like from a negative place, like with the intentions of hurting anybody.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I don't have to watch what I say or anything, but like it's never hurtful. You know, I'm never like, I'm going to say this and fucking hurt somebody. Like,
yeah.
That's never my intentions. So if I do say something that rubs somebody the wrong way, like I'll apologize. I'm not too big to apologize, but it's never coming from that place. I'm not like tiptoeing. Because I feel like, why are you tiptoeing, dude? Like, are you trying to fucking, do you have some shit that you might think is offensive? I don't know.
I mean, after all, it's comedy and it's a joke, but I mean, I there's a lot of offensive things in today's world. It's going to be hard to stay out of that. Just even just being whoever. I mean, just being yourself. I can see it being challenging. So I applaud you for doing it because man, it would be tough in today's world.
Well, dude, I don't want to walk on eggshells everywhere I go. You know, like I just want to be me.
Yeah.
And get along with people. I get along with everybody I meet. If I don't, it's on your side. Like,
hey, that's fair.
You know, and I make friends everywhere I go. I make friends with anybody. If you're good to me, even if you're not, if you're just natural or neutral, I can get along with that too. Like I don't give a shit. And if you're being a dick, an asshole or something, I can walk away. I got legs at work, thankfully, Lieutenant Dan. And I can walk away. It doesn't bother me none. You know, and even if I do walk away from somebody that's, being an asshole or something, like, I still give them the benefit of the doubt. Like, hey, they're having a rough day. I don't know what the fuck they're going through. Their mom might be dying of cancer or something. Like, who knows? Don't hold it against them.
I hear you.
Keep your distance, whatever, but also, like, don't let it bother you.
Yeah. I think the cows are getting close. We just started getting hammered with flies.
I haven't heard them.
They make an appearance here at some point. We'll see. So... How old are you now?
29. I'll be 30 in August.
30 in August. So yeah, we've been friends for a little over 10 years because I'm pretty sure when we first met, you were 19.
Yeah, I wasn't even close to drinking age.
Well, but I did meet you when we were going to a bar.
we did meet.
You did look 30 when you were 19. So
shit.
I specifically and vividly remember your 21st birthday. Because we didn't live in the same town.
Yeah.
You lived with actually one of the guys in my wedding, and you guys were roommates in Kingsville when I was working at King Ranch. And I remember Jimmy called me and was like, hey, dude, come over. It's Carlos's birthday. We're going to go to the Luau. Shout out Luau.
Hell yeah.
And we're going to go celebrate Carlos's birthday. I was like, yeah, cool, whatever. So I didn't realize this was your 21st birthday because I've been going to the bar with you for 2 years at this point. So I remember going there, and at some point, somebody said something like, hey, 21st birthday, and they had like a challenge or whatever you do to 21-year-olds. And I was like, hey, why the hell are they doing this to you for your 20, like you're 21 years old, and you're like, oh, it's my 21st birthday. And at that moment in time was when I realized you were 21 years old. I had absolutely no idea. But
you're like, I've been had.
Yeah, I felt like my whole life, our whole relationship was a lie.
Oh, man.
And you remember our first conversation?
Oh, dude. I remember parts of it. It was a little emotional for me.
Yeah, because I was killing everything from your childhood
Everything
that
was dead.
didn't really exist.
That's a classic mix-up, dude. That was hilarious. So I remember, I kind of have my same. I'm so used to meeting so many people. I mean, I've moved around. I've been on the go since I was a child.
Yeah.
I never lived with anybody in particular for too long. I was on the move. So you have two choices. You want to be antisocial and stay in your corner, or do you want to like put yourself out there and try to make friends?
Yeah.
So I was like, fuck it, let's try to make some friends at a young age. And it paid off in the long run. You know, I can go into a room and, you know, meet 2 or 3 people or whatever.
And kill it.
And, well, just make friends easily compared to some people who are like real shy.
But you're the guy that like, whenever people walk into the room and you're in there, like you're the guy that's like, you have presence. You've got like swagger, I guess, cowboy swagger, whatever the hell that would be. I don't know. You've got cow shit or something. But like, for example, at my wedding, you were there. My dad had never met you. And like for 3 years after the wedding, he was like, hey, who's your cigar buddy again? Because you had a cigar the whole time. He's like,
I don't even smoke cigars.
Hey, who's that cigar guy? You know, he can really dance. He had that pretty girl with him. That's how he knew you and had never met you before, didn't know your name, didn't know anything about you until later on down the road, obviously, whenever they moved down and all. Anyways.
So no offense to any northern folk that might have been at your wedding, but I remember your dad telling me like, man, you ain't embarrassed at all, are you? I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, you dance with every girl here. It's like, well, they're playing music. What else do you do? And he's like,
he's gonna sit in the corner and listen like the old junior high days.
I don't know who was at your wedding, who those guys were. I didn't know them. There was like some dudes at your wedding, like my age or younger, you know, our age.
Yeah. Like
just
in the wedding or
just at
there?
the wedding, at the reception, whatever. Just sitting at the table the whole time. They weren't dancing. So like me and Mac and Steven Reiser was there, I think.
Yep.
Jimmy too. We're just grabbing the girls and dancing. Hey, they're playing country music. Let's dance. Get a two-step in. Every song. Like, what else are we doing here, you know? And so your dad was like, man, you ain't embarrassed? And I'm like, well, no. That's how you meet chicks, is dancing.
Dude, there's a huge cultural difference between the Midwest. So I grew up in the Midwest. 20 years. I lived in the Midwest 20 years. So.
What was the name of that town?
Vandalia.
There you go. I pass through that all the time. It's like Interstate 70 or 80.
Right on 70.
Yeah, I pass through there all the time. And I think about it. I was like, oh, yeah, it's where Trevor Summers.
Yep. So it is just so different there. Like, because it's such a mixed group of people. Not like, I don't know. It's like down here, country music comes on. There's people who live in Texas around. Like, there's dancing. Yeah. That's just the way it is. Like, in Illinois, it is not like that at all. Everybody's standing off to the side, waiting on one person to go out there. And when one person goes out there, they spend most of their time talking about it, like whether they can dance or not. Yeah. It's not like it's very, very different. And that's what my dad was like. It was just so shocking for him to be like, man, all these guys just get up and dance all the time. They don't care. And they're dudes. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, it's kind of just part of, I guess, Texas.
It's the culture, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so when I was young, I didn't know how to dance. You know, I didn't learn how to dance like two-step until I was like in high school. Yeah. And I realized, so my high school was on the King. It was like part of the King Ranch. Yeah, yeah. So our football games got moved to Thursday. So typically high school football is Friday night. Yeah, yeah. My high school was typically Thursday night. Well, Thursday night in Kingsville, Texas, college night. Yep. So after I get done with my football game, get showered, go to the Luau or the ranch, wherever they would let me in. Yeah,
wherever you could slide.
Yeah, because I don't even think I was 18. I was just like, yeah, I'm a minor here, mark me. Like, I didn't plead no contest there. And as long as I can get in, I can get drunk inside. That's not a problem. Yeah, yeah. I just got to get in first. And that's when I started realizing, like, oh, I got to learn how to dance. Like, so many chicks in here. They're all
so many girls, but I don't know how to dance with them.
Oh, yeah. Figured that out quick. Yeah. I mean, everybody does. There's, like, Australians and people from Miami and New York that go end up in Tamook playing football. Yep. You know, and they want to meet chicks, so these dudes. You
got to learn how to two-step.
They learn how to. They might be doing it in Timberlands, but they're fucking doing it. They're learning.
Hey, two-stepping in Timbs. Don't hate on it. Don't hate it. They're at least out there trying.
You know, I like to say to use the right tool for the right job, but
I hear you.
We'll get it done.
I hear you.
I mean, people two-stepping flip-flops, like.
That's true.
Seen it happen.
I'm two-stepping anything, to be honest with you. It doesn't matter.
As long as I got to air my tires.
Yeah. As long as there's a song that comes on that I feel like dancing to, I'm dancing to. I don't care.
Yeah.
My wife does not. She's not like that. She hates, because I have a tendency to be the one to jump out and be like, hey, let's go dance. And she wants to be eased into it. She doesn't like just jumping in.
So you got 2 kids now. What's date night look? How often is that happening?
Depends.
Because y'all are both pretty busy nowadays.
Yeah. So when I left the ranch, it's almost 2 years. June will be 2 years.
Oh shit.
Yeah. We both, our careers now are significantly better.
Yeah.
I love being on the ranch. Don't get me wrong, but my role had just kind of evolved into something I wasn't interested in anymore. It became way less about, hunting and wildlife and all that, and it became way more like hotel management, because we built they built an incredible place.
Oh, it's huge.
It's awesome, and it's the places that we dream of going that we can't afford to be at. But I got to be there, but I was the guy that they always were calling to do stuff. And so when that first baby hit the ground, it was kind of like, okay, now I'm spending literally all of my time taking care of, other people's needs, and I'm spending no time with my family. So that was when we really realized, like, it's time for a change. We got to do something. And so when we left, Christina's been killing it, and I just jumped into a totally new career that I like it, and I love doing it when I decided to start it, but I had little experience in it just from our, real estate investing. And then that second baby came. That was a complete surprise. Not expected, not planned, not attempted. It was just a fun Friday night.
Been there, brother.
But yeah, that the second baby, date night to us is like, so by 8:30 we have both kids down, and we have a date night every night from like 8:30 to 8:45 before we go to bed.
Hell yeah.
But yeah.
Dude, those were some of the best parties. Were the ones y'all threw at y'all's house there at the Tres Bahias.
Oh yeah.
Those are good times.
I'll tell you, hey, the possum.
Oh, when I'm having a bad day, I'll pull that video up on my phone. And
every time I come across it, I'm like, I gotta share it with you.
Yeah, it's a good time.
That's typical Carlos. That is what I expect every time that I know I'm gonna be in stitches, and it's so unexpected when it hits and when it happens. Yeah, just like whenever you were on Kill Tony, those guys, when they started interviewing afterwards,
like, what the fuck is this?
And you just started crushing.
Oh man!
And had them like they at points were at a loss for words. And Tony was so red, I was concerned for him that he like wasn't breathing anymore. And you just kept going and kept going. And I'm like, oh, there's no way. There is no way this dude doesn't just get like the best ovation ever.
Dude, so the reaction from the crowd is amazing. Like, honestly, I don't think that show would have gone, my first appearance would have gone the way it did if I didn't get laughs. Like, it got the ball rolling, and I built some momentum, and I just kept riding off of that, I guess. And but what felt fucking incredible was after the show, the first Kill Tony I was on, going up to the green room after the show and meeting everybody.
Yeah.
And Tony like put his hand out and to shake my hand. And he's like, "Welcome to the family."
Oh.
I'm like, "Oh, dude."
Oh, that's sweet.
You made me cry like a little bitch right now. I didn't cry, but I was like, "Fuck, dude, that's incredible." Because that show is like.
You thought like maybe I will let you ride me a little bit. He wanted to.
That show is just at a fucking level, it's gonna be part of history. Like, I hope somebody's making a documentary, or everything's well footed.
Yeah, but like following the.
I hope there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff, because like there's gonna be a documentary about the show one day, because so many people are coming out of it. So many great comedians are coming out of that show, and
some really, really bad ones.
Oh, and those are just really as good sometimes.
Ones. I know, and Tony shines in those moments, right? Like that's where he is just an absolute killer.
Okay. You just brought me back to the nilgai story I was telling you.
Okay.
So I shoot this nilgai, get it mounted, and Carlos there was like, and this was a pretty cool deal. I'll take one if you got another one. Carlos was like, hey, how much meat do you want and what do you want to keep, whatever. I'm like, whatever is the standard procedure is okay with me. And he's like, hey, I have an orphanage I run in Mexico.
Yeah.
You want to donate some meat? I'm like, how much do you want? He's like, 50 or 100 pounds. I'm like, how much do I got? And he's like, it was like 350 pounds of meat. I was like, yeah, give those kids 100. I'm not going to eat 350 pounds of nilgai by myself. And
so hang on, we do need to stop for just a second. Most of the people in Texas are going to understand what we're talking about. There's going to be a lot of people at some point in time, maybe not after the first episode, but at some point in time, this archived video, people will go back and watch it, listen to it, whatever. You need to explain to all of the people who are watching this what you are describing, because you keep saying nilgai. No one's going to find it.
So there's
How do you spell it?
Nilgai.
Okay.
There's an antelope from Pakistan, I believe it's from.
It's
India, Pakistan. Yeah. And I think it was the King Ranch. They brought it over like back in the day.
They tried to domesticate
30s,
it
60s,
because it has the meat is phenomenal.
So you got great meat, and it takes to the climate, the South Texas climate, incredibly. And bonus for the nilgai, we don't have tigers in South Texas to kill them, so they have no natural predators, so they thrive in South Texas. And it's just a tank of a fucking antelope.
It's the way that I've described it is, and so a little bit more backstory that I heard when I was at the ranch was that they tried to domesticate the nilgai and make it kind of into another form of cow-ish. But because they're so like wild, they couldn't ever tame them. So they were like, you know what? Screw trying to take care of them. Let them go.
Chewed them.
And they let them go. Thought nature will take its course, and it didn't.
Yeah,
and they have just done really, really well.
Surprise me.
Yeah. So hunters have reaped the benefit of it because they're awesome to hunt. But the way that I've described it is this animal is like a horse, a small horse with devil horns.
Yeah.
When they're mature. When you
see them in the brush, like there's so many illegals across through South Texas.
Oh yeah.
I'd love to have like a camera up that catches their reaction the first time they see one.
When they square up with a
because it's
nilgai.
an evil looking fucking animal. If you don't know what it is.
And when you see them out there like running full speed, they are so majestic, dude.
What the fuck is that?
Like wow. They are just pure muscle and grace.
So I donate the meat to the orphanage in Mexico.
Yes.
And then he asked me, what do you want to do with this nilgai? You gonna get it mounted? And I'm like, yeah, I want to do a shoulder mount. He's like, all right. So then he does the head, whatever.
Yep. Capes it
for the shoulder mount. And there's that back half, and I'm like, of the hide, and it's like a pretty good size.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what are you gonna do with that? And he's like, it's trash.
Yeah. Gut pit.
So I'm like, I'm gonna tan it. And he looked at me like I was fucking crazy. He's like, you're gonna tan that half of a fucking hide? I'm like, yeah, why not? Fuck
pillows,
whatever.
Small little rug.
It'd be cool to have, yeah. Because the one I shot,
table piece.
The nilgai I shot had a pretty cool coat where it was still kind of black.
Yeah.
So it was really cool. And so I get the nilgai mounted, and they tan the back of the hide. Fast forward, kill Tony. There's a guy there named Bonsai. Shout out Bonsai. He's actually from the valley.
Okay.
The valley guy, taxidermist, leather guy. Does all the joke books for Kill Tony. That's
him.
That's
Those
Bonsai.
are sweet too.
Dude, he does fucking incredible work. Everybody that's famous that runs through Austin, if anybody gets a book from
they got
Bonsai.
a Bonsai piece.
Like Jelly Roll was just in Austin, got a Bonsai book. Like Shane Gillis, Bonsai book. Everybody gets.
Do you have a Bonsai book?
I got one in the truck right now.
Do you really? I think you should get it.
Hold on, because it's gonna lead into the story.
Okay.
So I'm talking to Bonsai backstage before I go on. This dude's cool as shit. I mean, one of the nicest. He's probably the nicest guy I've met in Austin so far. So this dude's cool as shit, and we're talking, whatever. I go on stage on Kill Tony, have a good time, come back, and everybody's like, "Holy fuck!" So me still being fucking adrenaline, like full of adrenaline, I'm like trying to calm down.
Yeah.
And this dude's just fucking. So what's up, man? How's your day? Like calm, cool.
Leveled you back out.
Yeah, dude, he was cool as shit. Like kind of calmed me down a lot.
Kind of like a bonsai tree.
I guess, yeah, maybe. Fucking Jedi mind trick, dude. I didn't even see that one coming. So, anyways, we're talking. He's showing me like Tony just killed a black buck before I went on that show.
Yeah.
And Bonsai did like a European skull mount, but like fucking painted it in like painted the skull in like 24 karat gold or some crazy shit. Like it's a wicked looking fucking skull. It looks like nothing you've ever seen.
Yeah.
And of course it has to be different, right?
Yeah.
I didn't even know Tony hunted, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I can see. I mean, that would be a tough correlation to make.
So anyways, he's showing me, I'm like, did you do this? And he's like, yeah. I was like, wait, what else do you do? And he's showing me all this shit. So I was like, dude, I got a fucking half nilgai hide. He's like, you have nilgai? I'm like, yeah, I got a fucking, like a 3 foot by 3 foot piece of nilgai.
Just
hide.
a nilgai butt.
Tanned, yeah. Tanned with the tail on it. And I was like, you want it? I was like, you want to do something with it? Because it's just sitting. I didn't want to let it go to waste for whatever reason. I should have scrapped it maybe. But I got it tanned. But it's just been sitting in storage. And I'm like, I want to do something with it.
It's one of those, like, at one day I will do something with this. I just don't know what yet. It has to be really cool.
Exactly. So I meet Bonsai. We get to talking. And I volunteered that nilgai hide. I'm like, here, you can have it. Next time I'm in Austin, I'll bring it with me. You can have it. So that next week, not even a week, it was like a couple days later, I'm driving north from Corpus, headed back to Fort Worth to go to work. And stop off in Austin, have lunch with my buddy Bobby Flacco. Shout out Bobby Flacco. And I texted Bonsai. I was like, hey, I got that nilgai if you want it. He said, yeah, bring it by. So I took it by. Didn't think anything of it. Never thought I was going to see this nilgai again. Didn't care.
Yeah.
I knew it was gonna be in good hands and serve a good purpose down the road somehow. So fast forward to the second Kill Tony I was on.
Yep.
I'm back in the green room, hanging out, and I see Bonsai. I'm like, hey, what's up, dude? And I fucking give him a hug, whatever. And he hands me a joke book. And it's a nilgai joke book.
No.
Yeah, I got it in the truck. I'll go pull it out in a second.
So you've got the big joke book from Tony,
and then
you got a Bonsai joke book.
They're both Bonsai. All the joke books are Bonsai.
Oh, I got you.
So like the little tiny joke books, the big ones are all Bonsai.
Okay.
And like it's funny too. Like every joke book has its purpose. Like the little tiny ones, like get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Or hey, you tried, but you're not good.
Yeah.
It can be insulting or it could be like encouragement, depending on how you look at it and your skill set and all that. If you've been a comedian for 10 years and they give you a little joke book, like.
So has there been any comedians that have gotten a little joke book and came back and opened their little joke book to tell jokes? Because I think that would be a great way to start your set.
I'm not 100% that it hasn't happened, but not that I know of.
Okay.
But that would be, honestly, if you can bounce back from a bomb on Kill Tony and then come back with your little joke book and crush it out of the little.
That would be awesome.
That like it'd be like the trade. That's like the trade-in program.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Hey, we're gonna put
Tony
you in
be like, hey, give me that back.
Yeah, we're gonna put you in a 2024 year model. So, anyways, Bonsai hands me that nilgai joke book. Incredible. I'm like, holy shit! I hunted this thing, killed it, harvested it or whatever, and then now it's like
part of your work moving forward.
It's like part of
full
like
circle.
It's kind of full circle. So as I'm watching Kill Tony.
Hey, Bonsai, I've got a 10-foot alligator if you want to mess with it and do something. I'm just saying.
Oh, shit.
I do. I have a 10-foot alligator tanned. It was the first one I ever killed.
You mean you're not going to put it in your truck again? Well, tell that story in a second.
That's still a possibility.
So, as episodes happen since I've been on the second time on Kill Tony, whenever somebody does like something dumb or bombs, whatever, Tony's been giving out these what he calls hairy joke books to people.
They're your nilgai.
They're all my nilgai.
Are they really?
So like
that is so sick.
Did this one guy, because Tony has no idea what it is, right? Like that, it's from me.
Yeah.
And it's something that I killed. So there's this one guy that like went on Kill Tony and just his plan for whatever reason was to insult Tony, like calling him gay.
I saw that dude.
Calling him gay, saying
that
he was sucking his dick. All this shit. I'm like, dude, if you're gonna be offensive, be funny.
Yeah,
like, that's the only rule to be offensive.
You can't just come out and be offensive and not have humor.
And not be funny.
That was a bad set. I don't remember your name, dude. That was bad. That was bad.
I messaged him.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, because I saw Tony was putting that dude in his place.
He was.
And then he said, you know what? Bonsai gave me this hairy joke book for when somebody's in a hairy situation. Here, he threw it at him. And I was like, oh shit, that's my nilgai.
That is so.
So I messaged.
That's epic.
I found him on Instagram, however. And it's like 3 a.m. And I'm like, dude, that guy fucking bombed. Like, that sucks. That must suck. I had some sympathy, empathy, whatever you want to call it.
You have to.
So I messaged him like, hey, man, saw your set.
Kind of rough.
Kind of rough.
Yeah.
Do you want a silver lining? And he messages back almost immediately. He's like, yeah, what do you got? I was like, it's the joke book that you got. You can look at it as like, however you want. I said, but that's actually, I sent him a picture of me and the nilgai at the San Chicago. I was like, that's actually a nilgai that I shot and that like I have it mounted, in my house. So that's pretty cool. If you want to look at it that way, it's pretty cool. I think so. And he's like, holy shit, my buddy said it was it was cow. It was like,
no,
cow.
Way cooler.
I was like, no, yeah, way cool. I tried to kind of explain what a nilgai was. And so I'm like, hey, there's a silver lining if you want to take it. I think that's pretty cool. You got a piece of my nilgai. But, yeah, rough set.
That was. I felt bad for him. But, I mean, to be fair, he earned it. He earned it to be that rough. It was just a poor plan.
I think Tony hit the nail on the head when he said, like, oh, all your online trolls think you can be funny and talk all this shit.
Yeah.
Till you get on the show and he fucking bombed.
That's so true.
And I think that's why he let him have it the way he did. Because you could tell when somebody's trying to be a comic and they're like struggling, like, hey, we got some work to do, bud, but, takes balls to get on stage. This guy was like on a mission, like, I'm going to be a troll. I'm funny as fuck online. I have to be funny on stage.
Yeah.
There's no way I can't be funny and like bomb.
Yeah.
So
that's a weird world that we live in now. That like people have an opinion of themselves of like, I'm funny because I'm funny by making fun of people online. I don't know. Like,
I'm not gonna lie to you. I kind of partake myself a little bit.
I know you do, but you're actually funny.
I guarantee you though, my comments are funny because it gets responses, like reacts.
That's what, like, one of the things that bothers me is like when people post for help, almost always there's a great joke in it, and like 25 people will be smartasses, 25 people will be just downright dicks to them, and then that one guy, that one Carlos jumps in and hits the joke, and every time I'm like, yeah, it was out there for the taking, you had to take that. Yeah. The guys that I don't like are the guys that just get on to be dicks and think they're funny.
So there was an episode podcast that came out yesterday or the day before with Theo Von.
Yeah.
And he was on a cooking show hosted by two kids with Down syndrome.
Yeah.
I highly recommend watching it. It's an incredible show. It's like 8 minutes long. They cook beer can chicken together. It's one of the funniest videos I've ever seen. And I go through, the first thing I do is go to the comments. I'm like, this has to be good.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, are you familiar with Shane Gillis?
Oh, yeah. I love Shane Gillis.
He
just barely missed DS.
Have you, so you familiar with the bits with the grilled cheese and all that?
Yeah.
With Uncle Danny?
Yes.
I go to the comments on that Theo Von video. I'm like, there's no way nobody said this yet. I was like, they got to be making this at night.
And smuggling it into the restaurant.
No,
Uncle Danny, where are you getting all those grilled cheeses at? That's probably
midnight.
Copyrighted. I'm sorry, Shane. I shouldn't have said that.
Oh, shit. So, like, I go on the Theo Von video. I'm like, two kids with Down syndrome cooking with Theo Von. I'm like, they're definitely making this at night.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. I had to.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. I'm making them at night, Dad. So, anyways, have you been fishing? Because I remember you've been big on fishing for years.
I have not fished. So, Jimmy and I bought that offshore boat in 2016. And, dude, we just about ran the motors off of it. Crazy that you asked me because I sold it when Jimmy left the ranch. I don't remember what year he left. I think it was like 2018-ish.
Yeah.
When Jimmy left, I bought his portion from him, and then I ended up selling it. It was around COVID, like when all the boat prices and truck prices just went nuts. I was like,
it makes sense not to.
Yeah, I see value here. So I sold it to a gentleman, and literally 2 days ago, Brent that runs the ranch over in Edna.
Richards?
No, Friedrichs. Yeah.
Friedrichs?
Yeah. He sent me a picture of it. That dude that I sold it to was selling it on like Texas boats for sale, whatever. It was still chum and take it.
No shit.
Yeah, the only thing
that's one of my favorite boat names ever.
Dude, that was my wife. Shout out Christina. Good job. That was you want to talk about disheartening? Like we were driving home with this new boat we just bought, and I'm like, yes, I can't. We're coming up with all these names like Dirty Hooker and like Salty Sea Lady and just stupid names. And she's in the back, and she goes, what if you do a play on the come and take it flag, like chum and take it, but use a fish instead of a cannon? I'm like, stupid. Dang it. Really good. And I looked over at Jimmy, and he's like, yeah, she just named the boat.
That's it. Yeah, has to be.
Yep. And then it was kind of we kind of branded the whole fishing conception around chum and take it, and we had a lot of good times on that boat. A lot of good times,
dude. I've never been on a catamaran before.
Yeah.
So when you took me out,
yeah.
Oh, was it you or might have been Jimmy?
Yeah, probably.
But my first time going out on that boat, I'm bracing for impact every wave.
Yeah.
And it doesn't come. Nothing happens.
Well, the best thing was, so like we went to test drive the boat, right? And the old boat that Jimmy had that he was partners with Matt.
Sea Fox or whatever.
Yeah. Sea Hunt, Sea Fox, Sea Sun. I know it was called Not a Bite, which was weird because a boat that you want to take fishing, you want to bite. And so anyways, I think it was a tech reference. But anyways, that boat was rough as hell. Yeah. And I'm talking like you need knee braces.
So that's kind of where I was going. Do you remember the trip? It was me, you, Jimmy, and my buddy JD.
JD. Dude. Hey, JD, you're a trooper, dude, and I really feel bad for you because he was so miserable.
I don't know if I ever told you this part of the story. So miserable trip. Well, actually, JD did pretty good for most of the trip.
No, he did excellent until we caught that shark at the very end.
We went snapper fishing.
Yep.
Or no, yeah, the shark.
Well, we caught the snapper, you're right. And then at the very end, he was like, what about a shark? And when he was fighting that shark, dude just lost his guts.
I mean, just yakking.
Yeah. While he was still fishing, like, yeah.
And then he's yakking off the side of the boat, and then the snapper coming up to eat it.
Yeah.
So we're like, hey, throw up over here.
Yeah. Hey.
You want to chum it over here?
We'll take advantage of this.
So on the way in, we're getting beat to shit on that boat. We're just like, I think we're hugging the coastline and we're just taking on waves, just boom, boom, one after another. So I'm like, dude, it's been a long day. Let me put a dip in. So I pack my can, put a big old fat wad of Copenhagen in, and the wind's blowing. So I'm like, hey, cool. Right out the side. Dude, I feel on my shoulder. I turn around, I see JD, he's covered. Dude, covered in dip spit. But he was so scared that he didn't want to let go of the rail. So he didn't know what to do.
So you're spitting in his face and mouth.
On his shoulder.
After he's been puking. Oh my, that makes me sick even thinking about it.
Dude, so I guess what happened was he was like,
hey, keep that skull, baby.
Dude, he was like on the rail in the center, like behind the seat of the center console. And like for whatever reason just moved out to the side because he wasn't standing there before. I was aware of like my surroundings.
Yep.
He wasn't standing there before. He shifted over sometime between me and putting the dip in.
So you're just spit flogging him in the face.
Probably about 3 or 4 good fucking spits.
So
and he's like, hey,
could you please
buddy, old pal,
in my face?
Can you stop spitting
oh,
on me? He had already had it bad enough. I'm like, dude, I did not mean that. And I guess, to make him feel better, I had a brand new pair of Oakleys.
Yeah.
Gone. One wave to that. Honestly, we're getting hit with waves so hard.
Yeah.
That
boat was rough,
From
dude.
one wave to the next, my glasses were gone.
Oakley's on, Oakley's off.
Didn't even notice. We get in, I'm like, where the fuck are my glasses?
Where did I put those at?
Yeah, they're gone.
Gone.
So I'm like, hey, JD.
Sea monster ate them.
Dude.
So that's actually, in my opinion, not even the best part of that. So that's a great. I had no idea you spit in his mouth, which is awesome.
I'm gonna say I didn't spit in his mouth.
I think you spit in his mouth.
Just so I feel better.
No, I think you spit in his mouth. The first one, at
I'm
least.
A piece of shit, dude.
He probably, after the next couple, like every time you turn, he would like bite his lips a little bit. But the best part of that story is when we were headed back and we had to go through the check station to come, because we were so far south. When we launched, we were coming back to the check station and JD was passed out.
Oh, yeah.
And we roll up to the check station and they're getting ready to ask us. And JD is a Hispanic
One of
fella.
the darkest of Mexicans there is. Like this dude, he looks like he will. And actually, in this scenario, no shoes, no shirt.
No. He had his shirt on. But when we were trying to wake him up, because when you go through Border Patrol, they always ask you, U.S. citizen, and you say yes, sir. They let you go.
So for people that don't know, if you're near the border, any state near the border of Mexico, if you drive north, you're bound to run into a checkpoint, a Border Patrol checkpoint, and they are you a U.S. citizen, whatever. They're just questioning you, see
where you going, what are you doing, where you been. So
we're pulling in this story. We're pulling up to this Border Patrol checkpoint.
Yeah, and there's cameras that start about 6 to 8 cars deep. That they're X-raying your vehicles. They're looking at you through the cameras, like seeing your interactions on your way to talk to the Border Patrol agents. and JD's asleep, and we know they're going to ask him, like, are you a citizen? So we're trying to wake JD up, trying to wake him up. We're like now 3 cars deep. JD still hasn't woken up. So Carlos grabs him and is like shaking him like, dude, get up. So JD wakes up in a full panic, takes his shirt off, and he starts just like randomly talking about a bunch of shit that now sounds like Spanish. I'm like, oh dear God, he's gonna get deported. He is gonna get deported.
Doesn't know where he's at. He's all discombobulated.
Completely freaking out in the back seat. And we roll up. We're kind of like, no, we're fine. I promise this is not weird at all.
We got paperwork for him.
Yeah, he's good. He's good. He just had a rough day offshore. We're all good.
Dude, that poor guy. That was a rough day. That was his first time on offshore, I believe.
That was it was good though. I think we caught some fish. He definitely, and remember when he was reeling that shark and the dolphins were like playing in the wash right beside us the whole time, like playing all in his puke.
He chummed it up real good, yeah.
He did.
Poor JD.
That was good.
Dude, that guy is a fucking character. Like, people say that I'm funny, and I feel like some of my closest friends are way funnier than me.
So he's one of the dudes that told you, like, I would never have done that.
I don't think he mentioned if he would or not, but I guarantee, like, if you can figure out how to get him on stage without him realizing he's on stage, he'd be 10 times funnier than I am. Like, just the shit he says. One time we were like working we were in high school. We were like working cattle or something, whatever we're doing, and it's hot as fuck. I mean, it's blazing hot. Fremont, Texas, middle of the field, no wind, humid,
no shade,
and yeah, no shade. We're out there like clearing brush or working cattle, whatever the fuck we're doing. And my buddy Paco is like, "Dude, it's hot. Like it's fucking hot." And JD looks at him. He's like sweating his ass off. He's like, "It's on your head." Like, dude,
no, dude,
fuck you.
It's only 106. It's just all in your head,
dude. I was so mad at him that he said that, but it was the funniest shit. Like, and like how do you make that up? You know, like,
no, he felt that. He felt that in his core.
Nah, bro, it's on your head.
No, it's on your head, man.
Dude, and Paco fucking, he knew how to set Paco off because Paco's like, no, it's not in my head. I'm fucking hot. Nah, bro. Nah, you're not even hot, dude.
Dude, not even really hot, man.
Yeah, it's on your head.
It's actually mild. It's like 84. I don't know what
you're
talking about.
Man, dude. Fucking JD, that guy's a character.
Oh.
He flipped a truck that hauls the cotton bales.
What?
Woke up in a ditch.
JD did?
Yeah. And it's so like
on the ranch or off the ranch?
On the King Ranch, yeah.
Because he was at the same division as me.
Mm-hmm. He lives like where you used to live, I guess. In the colony?
Now wait a minute. We've had this discrepancy before.
He really does this time, I swear to God.
He lives in the Laurellis division.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, anyways, his wife calls me. She's freaking out. I'm like, what's going on? She's like, JD was in an accident. I'm like, oh, shit. Everything all right? She's like, yeah, everything's fine. I'm just pissed. I'm like, what are you mad about? You know? She's like, well, they called me to tell me JD's in an accident, and he's such a fucking asshole when he, like, lie. He tells stories to fuck with you. He does that so often that when they called his wife to like, hey, your husband was in an accident, he's in the hospital, she's hungry, like, whatever, hangs up. Call her back.
Oh, the boy that cried wolf.
Yeah, call her back. No, he was really in an accident, you should come to the hospital. Yeah, whatever, dude. Don't, like, I'm not falling for this.
Stop calling me.
Yeah. And then finally, like, no, fucking for real, come to the hospital.
Hey, we can't be more serious. Yeah. He's really in the hospital.
Whatever, loser.
JD needs to have a safe word. Pineapples.
Safe word.
Yeah. Hey, pineapples. JD's in the hospital.
So JD just had a kid recently.
First one?
First one.
Congratulations.
Dude, you would not recognize him. This guy's Mr. Mom 1,000 times.
Really?
Like, dude.
He always looks like a... You know what? I just thought of a story about JD. So, like on F-150s where it says F-150,
yeah.
Right? JD wanted to put the ones that light up.
Oh, yeah.
So Jimmy was helping him put the light kit on there, right? And you got to like run a wire up, maybe drill a hole, do whatever. Anyways, so when we were in college, I'm gonna have to go way back to set this up to shit on JD a little bit here. So when we were in college, Jimmy and I were roommates. We were on we were getting certified to be shooting instructors, and we were playing pool. It was late at night. They left us. They took the beer taps off of the beer at the ranch that we were staying at, and they thought that we would not realize that like you can just pull the screw and still drink all night. So we were playing pool, we were drinking a lot, and a lot of dudes had gone to bed, and it was me and Jimmy and a couple other guys were the only ones left playing pool. And so I was over and I was lining up a shot, and we drank beer all day, so I happened to slightly relieve myself just a bit. And it didn't make a noise, it was silent. And I'm lining up the shot, and then all of a sudden it hit me. I'm like, oh my God. Like, I'm talking maggot gagger. It's disgusting. So I turned around and looked, and there was an outlet behind me. And I was like, dude, I think that outlet is smoking. I smell smoke. And Jimmy comes running over. He's like, what? And literally sniffed up every bit of fart that I had let.
Oh.
And he was so mad. Fast forward like 8 years, he's been trying to pull this off on somebody. And JD in the lights, he's standing in JD's like floorboard and like drilling a hole. He's doing something up high. And he said, I was just up there when he's telling me the story. He's like, I was just up there and farted, and all of a sudden I could smell it. I was like, oh, that's horrible. But he's like, perfect, because my asshole's at eye level. So he was like, JD, I think something in here's smoking, dude. So JD comes running around the truck, comes over the door, and same deal, just takes every bit of the fart that Jimmy had just let go.
God.
And I that is such a classic. I don't know why. I haven't done it since then that I'm
make
aware
you proud.
of.
You're like, you've done well, Grass.
Yeah, like, hey, yeah, you made it. You successfully pulled off the smoke trick.
With friends like you, who the fuck needs enemies?
Hey, I'm telling you, that's why you keep us around. That's why you keep us around.
Oh man.
So, do you have any haters yet? Like, do you have?
I'm sure.
Oh, so you don't read your comments and stuff like that?
I'd really try not to.
Why?
Be honest.
What if there's good feedback in there?
So the way I've been kind of handling it is, I got some real good friends, that are super supportive, and I just tell them or let them know, like, hey, if you see anything that you think I should see, send it over.
Okay.
And I've scanned through some small stuff, here and there. Obviously on my Instagram, I got to see that. And then I saw some shit on like YouTube, I think.
What's your Instagram for the people that are watching?
The dumbest fucking name if you want to like get known.
What is it?
Texas with 2 X's.
Yeah.
The number 4. The word ever. Texas forever.
Texas forever.
Yeah. Well, I like to drink Dos Equis when I was a kid. I thought it was cool. I made that Instagram when I was like 15. 16.
When you were on South Padre Island with your beer necklace?
Dude. Like 2 years after, or before that, I mean. That video is still floating around somewhere.
Oh, I know. So where'd you get the fireman's hat? Didn't you have a fireman's hat on?
Yeah, I don't know.
To this day.
I still have it, but I don't know where it came from.
Okay. Hey.
All I remember is being on the beach for the whole spring break, Monday to Sunday. And around Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm sunburned to hell. I'm not wearing any sunscreen.
How?
I don't know.
How are you burnt? I'm saying.
Oh, at the beach.
Yeah, but your Hispanic nature's got to take over and start turning brown.
You know how fucking white I am? Dude,
so
I'm
the white side burns.
The whitest Mexican you ever met.
Okay.
So anyways, I'm at the beach and I'm burning up bad.
You need one?
Not yet. So I'm burning up real bad, and I don't know how, but the back of my neck was getting the worst of it, and my cheeks. And I don't know how I came across it, but I found a firefighter helmet that had a fucking guard on the back of your neck and had just enough shade in the front. And I'm like, I'm keeping that.
And you were on the news.
Yeah,
right?
I ended up coming out on the news in a firefighter helmet. And I think it was my grandma texted me like Thursday morning, Mijo, where are you at? I'm like, I'm at the beach. She's like, I saw you on the news. I'm like, what are you talking about? And this is like...
So you, at the time, because you did like a little interview with this girl, right?
I thought I was just talking to her.
So you didn't know they're like filming it, and it's like going on the news.
I wasn't exactly familiar what was going on.
So you were like slightly inebriated, allegedly.
So Insider Baseball here, or as Bert says, secret time. The 12-pack around my neck was drunk that morning.
Oh, okay.
That's where the
You're gonna have to post that picture in these comments so people can see it. You got to do it. It's iconic.
So I used to spring break professionally, and I would get drunk, and you could tell how drunk I was by how many beads and stuff I had. And if I was really drunk,
what'd you get beads from?
I don't even, dude. This stuff it just fucking ended up.
I didn't know if you like had to show your titties or like you got your nuts out or.
And by the pound.
Those
right?
are different. Those are different times. You can still do that kind of stuff in public.
So you can tell how drunk I was by if I had the beer can beads on. That means I drank that 12-pack that day.
Oh.
So like, and I would run a 60-pound test fishing line through the beer cans.
Mono.
Yeah.
I don't think you could do braided. Probably get cut by the beer
No,
cans.
yeah, no. So I had like, for whatever reason, I had some 60-pound test, and I ran it through the 12-pack of beer cans, the empties, and I made a big bead necklace out of these beer cans, and then I got interviewed on the news, and so that like, my grandma reaches out, I'm like, what is she talking about? Fucking whatever. I get back to school Monday morning, my principal calls me in the office.
Oh no!
Yeah, shout out Mr. Dragon.
And you're an athlete too.
Yeah, I play football and basketball. This is during baseball season. That's why I never played baseball, because it was during spring break season. Swear to God.
That's rough.
So I get called in the office, and my principal's like, "You've gone viral." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He flips his monitor around, and it's me on the news. I'm like, "Where'd you get that?"
Who is that guy?
Yeah. No, I'm like, "How do you have access to this?"
Allegedly.
And I have a Tamook shirt on. It's like, "I love javelina football," or whatever. And he's like, "It's a bad look for our school. I'm gonna have to suspend you for a week." I'm like, whoa, hold the fuck up. You mean to tell me if I spring break good enough, I get another week off? Is that what's going on? You're not teaching me. And he's like,
You are literally doing the opposite of what would be.
He tells me, he's like, "You're not supposed to look at it that way." I'm like, "I'm fucking definitely looking at it that
I
way.
am going back.
I'm not just looking at it that. That's how it is. You just gave me a week off after having a week off."
Yeah, I just had a week off. Went to Padre Island. Had the time of my life, and you're giving me the second week off, which Padre Island is still crazy. So you're gonna let me go back?
Dude,
Thank you.
I couldn't afford to go back. My health, my financial situation, like
Your liver.
we were not gonna make it. Yeah. And I got a compliment from a mom at the beach. She was like a mom with some college kids. She's in a golf cart.
From a mom. I thought you said your mom, and I
No,
was like,
from-
oh, where's this going?
Yeah, right. No, this mom on a golf cart has her kids, her college kids. I guess the deal was like, "I'll take you to the beach, but I gotta go with you." And she was a cool mom.
Yeah.
I learned that I had to put my ice chest in my back seat because people were walking by and fucking
Oh yeah.
taking a beer. And which I'm not selfish, but like I can't afford to fucking feed the whole beach. You
No,
know?
especially not at 17.
No, yeah. So, anyways, I see the mom. I'm like, "Hey, how y'all doing?" Whatever. And I've always been that guy. Like, "Hey, how you doing? Where you from? This and that." Try to get to know everybody, and because I don't meet strangers. Well,
Dude, hang on. I got a gnat or something that is just driving me.
dude, you look like a young Ethiopian child right now.
Swatting flies.
So the mom was like, "Do you have any water?" I'm like, "Yeah." I had a whole fucking 24-pack of water in my back seat, or actually in the ice chest,
It was probably still full, right?
mostly.
Yeah.
No, but I was really good. If I'm chugging 2 or 3 beers, chug a water.
Okay.
2 or 3
Okay.
beers, chug a water. Like I wasn't dumb. I knew,
PSA, a little public service
I
announcement.
had a
Yeah.
system down. I was a professional spring breaker, dude.
Yeah.
I knew exactly what I was getting into. So she's like, "You're the only kid I've seen with water in his ice chest." I'm like, "Professional."
Yeah. Again, I look 30. I'm 17.
That was the best part, dude. Spring break, there would be a cop, or it was actually the game wardens would patrol
Oh yeah.
the beach.
Yeah.
So the game warden would come, and all the miners would scatter like fucking
Oh yeah.
cockroaches with the light on.
Gee, wonder why
What
are
did
they
old
running?
Carlos, the professional spring breaker, do?
Cheers, boys.
How you doing? Hey, you got any sunscreen? Legitimate, not even trying to be funny right now. Do you have any sunscreen? I'm dying over here, bud.
I am lobstering in
I
here.
I literally remember asking him, like, "Do you have sunscreen?" with a beer in my hand at like 17 years old. And he's like, "No." He's looking at me like,
Not for you.
he's like, "Even if I had some, it wouldn't do you any good." Right? Look at you.
You need aloe.
You
is
need
what
a doctor. Got 3rd-degree burns, dude.
So, for the people who are not from Texas that are going to watch this, explain how awesome Padre Island is during spring break.
Dude, I don't know if I can speak for it nowadays. I heard it's gotten really rough.
Are you serious? I didn't know that.
There's no more, like in South Padre, there's no more like Coca-Cola Beach and shit. Like
What?
so many stabbings and shootings and stuff. Like it's gotten super dangerous.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I was today years old.
Dude, I haven't
Because
been.
back in,
That
like
was
when
the
we
shit.
did it,
That was the shit.
everybody took badass trucks,
Dude, MTV would go
buried
down
the
there.
back wheels, had stripper poles in the back. Everybody had their coolers, and it was just like you could walk for miles and party and never like you never had to stop anywhere.
I remember being a kid. I was like in eighth or ninth grade, and there was like a Girls Gone Wild bus.
Yeah.
MTV. Like, it was a big deal. South Padre was kind of a big deal for spring break. Now it's ghetto. Like, it's just rough.
Really?
Yeah. There was a post that went viral like 4 or 5 years ago. This girl, she was like 14, and she like ran away from home to go spring break, and like people were posting videos of her, and the mom's commenting on all of them on Facebook. The mom was like, "That's my daughter. Let me know where she's at." And they're like, "She's at the fucking Radisson Hotel right now. Can't say how long she'll be here." And
oh, dude.
like, it's just gone. It's fucking gone crazy. It might be fun. It might be a good time. I'm not saying anything, but I've heard it's gotten really bad, really dangerous. Hell, even Corpus, the spring break there has gotten pretty bad.
Really? Dude,
Maybe it's always been dangerous, and now it's on Snapchat and Facebook and everything.
Man,
now.
I don't know. I always felt pretty good when we went.
I never had any problems ever.
I didn't either. Now, we also would always go with like a not a crew, like where we were trying to look for fights or anything, but we always had like a group of people that we'd go with that was pretty, I guess, safe. I don't know about like a single girl going.
I know how to avoid shit. When I see shit brewing, I'm like, stay away from that. I can spot it usually and keep myself out of trouble.
So I do have a semi-funny story about spring break. So we were at Coca-Cola Beach, and one of Christina's bridesmaids, roommates in college, flew down specifically to go to spring break with us at Padre Island. So we go to South Padre, we go to Coca-Cola Beach. It's early in the day, like when people are just like barely filtering in before like the big massive party starts. So everybody's kind of filtering in. We're trying to like, how you always try to like establish your circle so people quit walking through you?
Yeah.
So we're trying to get our circle established. And this dude walks through our circle, and he's toting one of those old Igloo blue with a white top with wheels on the back and a handle, right? And he's just beefing right through the middle of our circle, right? So we're all like, oh, dang it. Like, close it off. He gets right in the middle of our circle in a Keystone Light tall boy, comes flying out of the crowd, swear to God, comes flying out, hits him so square in the face. And it's like the can part, not the butt, not the lid, like the can. Like, I just picture the can having like his face imprint on it, right? Smokes him. And he's in our circle. Like, it clearly couldn't have been us. But he looks up and he goes, "Which one of y'all just threw that?" And we're like, "Dude, came from way over there." And he goes, "Fuck you," to the whole crowd and rolled out. And I was just like, we got to tighten up our circle.
Dude.
We've got to tighten up our circle.
I don't remember exactly the story. I know it's a good one, and I haven't heard it in so long. You got to tell me the lime squeeze story from the Luau. That's what that reminded me of.
Okay, so once again, a lot of these shenanigans, Jimmy's involved, right?
Yeah.
So, we were at the Luau, and there was at the time a picture with Tom Hanks found some dude passed out, and it was like at a diner, like a Denny's or whatever. It found some dude passed out, and his phone was sitting right there. So Tom Hanks sat down with him, put his arm around him, and took a selfie, just laid the phone down and dipped out. So later, the dude, the next day, whatever, maybe a few days, the dude figures out that he has got a selfie with Tom Hanks and had no idea how, why, or what.
I'm not going to cut you off, I don't mean to cut you
Go.
off. I have a very similar story about KPD.
What? You want to tell it?
No. I'm saying that Tom Hanks situation happened with me and KPD.
Really?
Yeah, a little PI interaction. And the next morning, I wake up in my hotel room, like, what the fuck? It's a picture of me and KPD propping me up outside my hotel room.
No.
Anyways, keep going.
So, we're at the Luau, and that, like I said, that picture had just kind of went viral. Like, I'm sure everybody's seen it, or most people have seen it. And we were playing pool, and I look over, and there's this dude that is passed smooth out. He's laying on a bar table, and his phone is laying right there. And I was like, "Hey, Jimmy, let's go Tom Hanks him." And he was like, "What?" And I was like, "That Tom Hanks, like, let's go take a selfie with him and just leave his phone there. And tomorrow," not like he'll know us, but still he'll be like, "Where the hell did this come from?"
Yeah,
right?
when did this happen? Where was I?
So Jimmy goes over there, puts his arm around him, takes the selfie, goes off without a hitch. So I'm like, yeah, let me do it. Give me the phone. So gives me the phone. I lean in to do it, and this chick is like standing just on the other side of the table. And she turns around and goes, "Hey." And I'm like right in the middle about to snap this picture, right? She goes, "Hey, grabs the lime off her drink and like squeezes it towards me, which is weird in itself.
Yeah.
But she just so happened to hit me directly in the fucking eyeball with this lime juice. So I took the picture anyway, but I know that like I'm all like squinty, like dude. But to this day I couldn't even be mad. Like you turn around and squeeze a lime in my eye from 4 feet away. I was just like, yeah, kudos.
Good aim.
Good shot.
Got a scope on that fucking
good.
thing?
Yeah. Have you been practicing this? You go to the range with your limes often or what?
Oh, dude.
But yeah, in like direct hit in my eyeball, could not have been better. And I loved her for it. Like, just good for you. Like, because she squeezed it, was like, fuck you. And just like left me be. And I probably still took a selfie with her drunk boyfriend. I'm assuming it was her boyfriend. I don't know, maybe it was her brother.
That's
who knows?
fucking awesome. Dude, there's so many stories that come out of Luau. It's insane. You know, our late friend Barry Athens used to own that place from like
Rest in peace, Barry.
1984, I believe.
Yeah.
He owned it from 84 to 2019.
I think Barry was a little shocked on your 21st birthday as well.
I remember whenever they're like, it's his 21st birthday, he looks at me, he's like, just a fucking...
You dirty bastard.
Yeah, the nod of disapproval, like, I see what you did there.
You got me.
And I was good people, man. I didn't start any shit.
Well, that's the reason you got away with it for so long. Because you were just a good, like a humble, not gonna... Like, that's the problem when kids get caught, is this is not... Like, I'm not teaching you how to get away with it, but kids get caught because they go drinking and they act a fool and do something stupid, whatever. You were just cool, calm, and collect.
Played it cool.
Just did your thing.
Dude, I learned this when I think I was in high school. And I want to say I shot like a 3-pointer for the first time or something. I'm like, yeah, you know. And my coach was like, hey.
Act like you've been here.
Act like you've been here. And that's stuck with me ever since. So like now when I find myself in situations where people can like showboat or act stupid or do something crazy.
Or like when you just kill it on the Kill Tony stage. How long have you been doing comedy? This is my first time ever. Act like you've been here.
Fucking act like you've been here, yeah. So I get into the bars, as 21 when I'm 19, 18. 17. Hey, act like you fucking been here, you know. Play cool. So anyways, where the fuck was I going? Oh, the Luau. There's so many fucking stories that come out of Luau. So full circle moment for me, like 2020, 2021. I just found out who my dad was recently, like 2020. And I get really close with his sister, which is my aunt. And
good meeting, bad meeting, or did we meet?
Great, dude. She's like the mother I never had.
No. I'm talking about the dad.
Never met him.
Oh, you still haven't met him?
I think he's in prison. Some total piece of shit.
Okay.
And turns out I have an older brother that I grew up knowing about.
Full blood, half.
We have the same mom.
Okay.
Turns out me and him have the same dad too. My mom just my mom just never told anybody. So anyways, so I meet my aunt, and I'm like living with her at one point, staying at the ranch with her.
Yeah.
And she pulls out a fucking card, a VIP card from the Luau from like the 90s.
What?
Yeah. So she's like, you ever been to this bar? I'm like, have I been there?
I paid the light bill there for the last 3 years.
No, it gets even better. I pull out my VIP card. I'm like, yeah, fucking check this out. And yeah, fucking crazy small world, right?
Wow.
I still have my VIP card.
So how did you find out about your dad?
Dude, crazy story. So I don't even know how much time we have. Like,
because I've always known you that, like, I knew you grew up with your mom. I knew you knew your mom, but I knew you that was actually one of your kind of, like, you kind of played a lot of comedy off of, like, what, it's because I don't have a dad?
Yeah, right?
Yeah, so.
Yeah, because people can make fun of you, but I can make fun of myself first.
Yeah,
you know?
if I do it first, you can't hurt. It's like Eminem and 8 Mile,
yeah, exactly.
Right? Like, if I make fun of my own self, what do you got to pick on?
Dude, so pivoting a little bit, I'll come back.
Yeah.
JD lost his parents, both of them. The other day we're having dinner at Texas Roadhouse, and I asked him, like, hey, what about this? I just asked him a question, and it, like, didn't involve his parents exactly, but he's like, hold on, let me call my mom real quick. I'm like, dude. Oh my God.
So that kind of humor, I respect it.
Yeah.
Because, like, you got two ways to deal with stuff, right?
Exactly.
Like, you face it head on, or it bothers you. And I feel like people who are bothered by it for a long time have a harder time being happy.
Yeah, for sure.
And if you can move past it, you know, and it, like, yeah, everybody gets sad. Everybody gets, like, upset about it. But at the same time, like, don't let it define you and be your whole deal.
So, my mom's sisters were like so my grandma raised me for the most part.
Yeah, I remember.
And my mom's sisters are like my older sisters.
Yeah.
And one of them got married a couple years ago, well, fucking 10 years ago, 9 years ago. Got married, and me and her husband hit it off. This dude's like my older brother. Like,
and this is
my Theo Beto. He actually made that knife sheath for you.
Yeah.
That leather. He does leather work.
Yeah.
So
hit him up. He's good.
He's curious, about me. Whenever I first meet him, and he asked my Tia, his wife, he's like, "Who's Carlos's dad?" And my Tia was like, "We don't know."
Huh?
And he's like, "Man, I think he reminds me of this one guy we went to high school with." Telling my Tia, she's like, "Shit, I never thought of that." So he reaches out to me. He's like, "Hey, man, I'm pretty sure this guy's your dad." Well, it turns out that guy is my older brother, dad, younger brother.
Okay.
The guy that my uncle.
That's kind of a twisted way to get there to explain it, but I get it.
Yeah, that guy. So my uncle knows him or went to school with him, whatever.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Hey, I think that guy's your dad." I'm like, so I reach out to him, and then before I hear anything back, he committed suicide. Yeah, so I'm like, well, fuck, I'm never gonna have any answers.
Yeah, there it goes.
And I tell my Tia, I'm like, fucking, that guy died. I'm never gonna know anything. She's like, well, he has a sister. You should reach out to her. She'd want to know. If y'all related, she'd want to know. I'm like, dude, she just lost her brother. I'm not gonna stir shit up for her, right? And my Tia was like, I'm pretty sure y'all are related, and if y'all are, she'd want to know. Yeah. So I reach out to her. Dude, she knows who I am. We're already friends on Facebook because she's my older brother's aunt.
Yeah.
So she knows who I am. And for people that don't know, my older brother, he's autistic and he can't drive and stuff. So like, if he was with his dad's family or hanging out with us or whatever, like I would give him rides and stuff. It's like we have to be in communication. So that's kind of how she knew about me.
Yeah.
Because I would meet her to take my brother or pick my brother up from her. So we kind of loosely knew about each other. So I reached out, hey, you got a moment?
Yeah.
And I told her what I knew.
To learn about your Lord Jesus Christ?
Right. If you got 3 hours, I'll walk you through the basics. And so I was like, I kind of walked her through what I knew. She's like, honey, that sounds like could be. She's like, I don't know what to tell you. My brother's already been cremated. So there's no way to like draw blood or anything.
You got like a hairbrush or something?
If you want, I'll take a DNA test with you. You don't have to do that, but if you want to, let's do it.
Yeah.
Meet up in New Braunfels, take a DNA test. I don't remember how long it took to come in, like maybe a week or two. Comes in, boom, 99.999% positive. She's my aunt.
Really?
So I'm like, shit. Well, now it's like, well, is that guy my dad or is my brother's dad my dad?
Yeah.
And then I took a DNA test. I don't even know if this is the right way to go about it, but I took a DNA test with my brother. Came back 100% positive. Like,
so his dad had to be your dad.
Yeah. So we have the same dad. So that's how I found out who my dad was. And it was like a whole new chapter in my life, dude. Finding out like my dad's family and all that, and meeting them, and that was a fucking roller coaster. Like,
of emotion.
Yeah, dude. All of it. It was crazy.
Good ways, bad ways, both ways.
Both, yeah. Yeah, because I got to meet my family that I never knew about, and then like slowly everybody just started dying or going to prison and shit.
Golly.
Dude, I worked fast food when I was in high school.
Is it tough? I've never worked fast food. I've worked only restaurant food.
I had a McDonald's career that lasted 2.5 shifts.
Ooh, yeah. So you were long term. Do you have benefits?
Dude, I went in my first shift. They trained me.
Yeah.
They're like, this is how you work a cash register. Cool. Got that down. They're like, all right, he knows that. This is how you take orders at the drive-thru. I'm like, cool, easy. They're like, all right, just put you on the line making burgers. That's how you cook burgers and whatever. I'm like, yeah, that's what we do here.
Easy.
I'm like, none of this is hard at all.
Yeah.
And so I'm starting to look around. I'm like, dude, these people are much older than me. I'm like 16, and these people are like in their 20s and 30s.
They are the Burger King.
Yeah, right. And they're having a hard time. Like, they're like, oh, fuck. Like, they're messing up shit. I'm like, how do you fuck that up? Yeah.
How?
So the second day I go back, and I'm like, they don't have to tell me anything. I'm just doing what I need to do. So they keep moving me around. They're like, well, we're slacking over here, so we need help over here. And I get that under control. And I'm being a smart ass. Like, somebody's like, can I get fries? I'm like, no. I'm that
I
that
expect
piece
that.
of shit
I
at the
expect-
drive-thru.
Can you get fries? No, we're out.
Yeah, no, actually, the fry machine's down.
I thought that was the McFlurry machine.
Yeah, that's broken too. Actually, we don't have it. It's not here. So I'm like being a piece of shit, whatever. But I'm like, this is too easy. It's not challenging.
Yeah, not keeping me entertained.
Kind of ashamed for being there because like I'm looking around, the people are like not that smart that I'm working with at that moment in time. I'm like, I don't want to be here anymore.
Yeah.
And then right at that moment in life, I get off of work and Paco's like, hey man, do you work this weekend? I'm like, yeah, why? He's like, oh, my grandpa was gonna pay us to go clear brush at the range. I'm like,
I no longer work this weekend.
I don't work here. I'm at your service. And I went in my third shift. I was gonna tell him like, hey, am I gonna be here this weekend? And I was like, fuck this weekend. I'm never gonna be here again in my life. I stopped eating McDonald's after that, dude. I want to show you, I was Whataburger only for a while. But yeah, I worked at McDonald's for like 2.5 days. Third day, I quit and I took in my 2 shirts or whatever they gave me. I'm like, I'm done.
Yeah.
They're like, what's the matter? I'm like, I don't want to work here anymore. This place sucks.
Yeah, I hate this.
Dude, I don't know how people have. I don't mean to judge anybody, but like I don't know how people work at fast food. Like, it's rough. It's like
Not only that,
for
but
hours and hours.
And the customers though, like, dude, I mean, the job I think is probably. I mean, it's probably pretty straightforward.
They need to stop serving by like the P. Like if you order nuggets, they need to stop serving like by a 4 piece or 10 piece.
Yeah.
And they need to stop serving burgers by like the increments of pounds.
Yeah.
Just have a trough.
Yeah.
Just fucking welcome to the McDonald's
This is a
trough.
fast trough.
Yeah.
Come through and slop up, baby.
That's what that dude. I refuse to eat a Golden Corral. I do not do it,
Oh, you don't eat at the Golden Sea,
dude. I refuse.
That is like
when you see people
17-day-old steak to order.
Dude,
though.
when you see people dipping pizza in the chocolate fountain, I'm out. I'm done.
That's where you draw the line.
I get grossed out by looking around. Like, there's too many scooters in that place. First of all,
Smell when you walk in, it smells like nursing home.
dude, it's just I'm like, I'm not enjoying this.
I can't believe you're hating on the Golden Sea like that.
Dude, I will say in Elkton, Maryland, there's a there's a Flying J truck stop.
Yep.
Exit 109A, I think it's called.
Are you sure it's not 109B?
It might
the
be.
listeners care.
Honest, if you're going north, it's 109A. Headed south, 109B.
Okay.
I think. I'm look it up, whatever. Elkton, Maryland, there's a Flying J and there's a Golden Corral there. Dude, they have a breakfast buffet, and it's like a homemade breakfast.
What?
On buffet form.
Homemade?
Dude, yeah.
Okay.
So they got like fresh bacon,
biscuits,
eggs made to order,
really,
pancakes.
Can you get omelets?
I believe so, yeah.
Dude, if you can get omelets.
So that's like the only Golden Corral I've ever been to that I'm like, I want to go there. It's only for the breakfast.
Wait, I thought you said it was a Flying J. It's a Golden Corral?
It's a Golden Corral at a Flying J.
You see, you got to put that in there.
That's what I said. It's exit 109A.
Yeah, but you just said it was the Flying J. You didn't put the caveat of the Golden Corral.
There's a Golden Corral in there, my bad.
At the exit 109A.
It's in the
/ B, depending on north or south.
in the Flying J, yeah.
In the Flying J,
And
there's
they got
a Golden C
buffet.
with a jam-up breakfast buffet.
Yeah, dude.
That's awesome. I love breakfast. Breakfast is my favorite meal by far.
I used to hate breakfast.
Why?
I just did not like it. And then from one moment to another, I discovered our good Lord and Savior, Cracker Barrel. And I fell in love. Do the grandma sampler every time.
Wait, what's the grandma sampler?
You get 3
I'm
meats.
not familiar.
You get sausage, bacon, and ham, 2 eggs, 2 pancakes, and a side. I usually get the hash brown casserole. I walk in there for breakfast. They're like, how many?
They know your order?
I know my order. So when I walk in, they're like, how many? I'm like, 1. I was like, I don't need that. When they grab the menu, I'm like, I don't need that.
No.
Yeah, we're good. Sweet tea, lemon, every time. I don't care what time of the day it is.
What do you order when you walk into Roadhouse? For those of you not from here, we just call it Roadhouse. You refer to it as Texas Roadhouse.
Dude, that's my favorite joke outside of Texas. When I go to a Roadhouse, Texas Roadhouse, outside of Texas. They're like, hey, welcome to Texas Roadhouse. I'm like, sweetie, where I come from?
We just call it Roadhouse.
We just call it Roadhouse. But
do they get it?
They got a roadkill. That's my favorite.
Roadkill, what is it? Is it steak?
It's a hamburger steak.
Oh, hamburger
steak. So it's
steak.
a big old hamburger patty with like gravy and onions.
Every single time my wife asks me, where do you want to eat? I choose Roadhouse every single time.
Is there one near here?
Victoria.
Victoria, yeah.
And it is absolute jam up. It is. I get the largest prime rib offered every time, and got to go with the loaded mashed. Got to go loaded mashed, and then the big beer. I like the big beer.
I love a baked potato.
I do too, but whenever someone else does all the work for me.
Okay, I was just about to go there. I don't want to be political. I don't want to get too political. But when I say I want a baked potato,
Yeah.
I just want the potato. I don't want the just mash it up for me and throw the shit in it.
Yes.
I'll be just as happy.
Yes, absolutely.
You could even lie to me and just put mashed potatoes and
You could.
and I'll be like, all right, baked
You
potato.
could.
Cool.
Yeah, it's cool. That's whatever.
Baked potato, also a fat chicken Colorado. Unpopular opinion.
What?
A fat chicken Colorado.
You call that a baked potato?
It's legal there.
Hey.
Dude, one of the funniest.
Hey, wherever it's legal, please partake.
One of the funniest
If you are of age.
bits on Kill Tony I've ever seen. This chick had a joke. I don't remember her name, and I wish I did. I wish I remember what episode it was. This chick had a joke, and she's like, "There's a giant potato you can spend the night in Idaho for $150 a night." She's like, "But you can spend the night in this giant potato if you just ask nicely." She's kind of a big girl. I'm like, that's hilarious. That's fucking comedy right there. And I butchered that joke, and it's probably not. That's the premise.
That it was good.
She may not have
you
worded
made
it that
yeah,
way.
you made it simple. She probably had a big.
She probably
had a big
worded
build
it
up.
different, but
Yeah.
Dude, it was hilarious. I'm like rolling, like fucking funny,
If you just ask nicely.
dude. Amazing.
Oh, that's good. Can we take a pee break?
Yeah, we'll be right back. Well, howdy. So we ended up recording a little bit more footage, trying to close out the podcast, I guess, and I messed something up and wasn't able to use the second part of the footage, and which is fine. I mean, we got pretty long-winded, and like I said, this is a learning process for me. I'm doing all this stuff on my own and figuring out editing and all that. And just learning as I go, and I know that might be frustrating for some people to listen to, or it might be intolerable. I don't know, but I'm doing my best and learning as I go, having a good time with it, and I appreciate y'all coming along for the ride. So thank you.